Well, hello, hello. Oh, I did it again. Forgot to move my thing. How are you? This is Rosa, RCG Creations. How's it going? Bringing you today a old family meal from my grandparents, 2 generations back. I don't know what you call it. Never knew what you called it. There's some kind of Mexican Spanish name, but I don't know what it is. But what you do is you get your ground beef, you slightly cook it, not overly cook it. Get all the pink out, drain it. And then you're going to add broth. I'm using my homemade beef broth. I'm going to measure to see how much I need. This is going to simmer for 30 minutes. But while it's simmering, we're going to be adding some shredded cabbage. We're going to be adding some raw carrots and raw potatoes. This is like an all-in meal, 1 skillet for everything. I got to drain it. This is actually leftovers I made when I made a crock pot full of pot roast. This is another thing that's good when you do cook extra. You can you save yourself on the cutting and prepping time on items. One of our pans gets hot, this one does not. The handle gets hot, this one does not. So. You can season it however you want to season it. I'm just going to do salt and pepper. That's all I'm going to do because my beef broth is really juicy. In fact, I'm double dipping, but we're not sharing with nobody. Otherwise, if we were sharing, I wouldn't be double dipping. Now, this is going to simmer just like this. I got to get my lid for, like I said, for 30 minutes. Just enough time to soften the potatoes and the carrots. Then the last, say about 7 to 10 minutes, we'll add the cabbage in there for it to soften. And then supper is done, and then we'll do the taste test. So I'll bring you back when we get to that phase. Oh, I've got this at about, it's about a medium, low, high, low, medium, high, low, low, medium. I say that 3 times. Don't ask me to do it. I can't do it. Oh, I forgot my onions. Gotta have my onions in here for the flavor. They're big and chunky. That way hubby can take them out. See how big those things are? And all of this is what I'm chopped up to make for the, actually hubby helped me with all the chopping. We both did it together. So now this is just gonna sit and simmer. I really don't think I'm going to need to add any more rice. So I'm going to set my timer for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to stir it so the top layer of potatoes can cook on top, on the bottom, and reverse it. But I'm putting my lid on top so the heat stays in. And there we go. So I'll set my timer for 10 minutes and I'm done. I'm leaving my broth out just in case I need it because there's just a little bit left. And then we'll... Oh. Hubby had that on. He was cooking my ground beef and he had it on high. No wonder it's so noisy. Because I go, it's usually not this noisy. Anyway, so I'm going to let this simmer, set my timer, finish cleaning my dishes. And then we'll get ready to do the next phase, which is to rotate the meat and the potatoes and the carrots. And then the next phase after that would be to add the cabbage, and then about 10-15, no more than 15 minutes later, it all should be soft. And then the meat right now is going to coat and sear. Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and let me season my. I'm going to put me some salt. Let me this out in case I need some more. And my pepper. And I don't really think I'm going to need any more. And I do like this smoked sea salt. I think we got this at Sam's. It's from Seasons Essentials, and it's called Seasons Essentials Oak Smoked Sea Salt Premium Grinder. We're just about out. We have not been able to find it anymore. So I don't know, this is just one of those one-time things that we're selling. But I don't want to put too much because it's got salt in it, and I already salted it a little bit. I didn't want to add too much salt. So now let me stir this a little bit. You could have definitely done this in a crock pot and do the exact same thing that I'm doing right now. And if you do it in a crock pot, you definitely want to take all the pink out of your ground beef and drain it, then put it in your crock pot, and then add everything to it. Set it on low for about 4 hours. If you did high, I would say it should be ready in about 3 hours if you do it on high. Again, it just depends on how big your chunks of potatoes are and your carrots, because you just want to cook it until the vegetables are softened. So this is a nice little meal, and I'm going to show you that you can do, because not everybody has a crock pot, but you can definitely do it on the stove top, in a big Dutch oven, or a big casserole pan, one that's made for a toast top. You can put the whole thing in the oven. I would say, I don't really know, because my mom's never done it in the oven. This is the only way she's done it. She didn't have a crock pot until we all were grown up and gone. But growing up at the house when we were all young, she did not have a crock pot. At least I don't remember her having one. So this is just winter's coming. It was a little cold today. It was in the 60s. So for us here in South Texas, it was a little cool, at least for me. A lot of people love it. So now it's all been stirred. Set my timer for 15. I'm gonna do 15 minutes. Give it enough time to cook. And again, it's not on a really high boil. And I just wanted to make sure that it boils and that broth gets really cooking hard. I don't want it to boil, but I want it to get really, 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 really hot. There's a word for that. If I remember, I'll put it in I'll do a pop-up box. If I remember, there's a word for it. I'll have to Google it and find out what it is. So we'll bring you back to the next phase. Okay, I'm back. I'm doing 2 meals. I'm making supper for tonight, and then I'm making some hash browns to go with our breakfast muffins. Hubby made the bacon, and cooked it and drained it, and he did the sausage, and now I'm doing the hash browns. So it's nice when you can do 2 things at the same time. It speeds your cooking processing time. So I just now put in the cabbage. So now I'm going to stir it, because I want the cabbage to get in the broth so it can soften up. And this is a good time to stir the potatoes from the bottom to bring them to the top, and vice versa. Now, of course, you can add as many potatoes and as many vegetables as you like. And I was just using leftover vegetables from when that I made some cabbage egg rolls. I'll put a link in that video, that video, if you want to see that. That was my first time making cabbage egg rolls. The other ones I make were shaved steak and cheese. Those are really, I enjoy those. But so we got green, orange, and white. Excuse me, sorry about that. And my potatoes are getting soft. can feel them. I can tell. It smells good. Wish we had smell-o-vision. Okay, so now that's all stirred in. I've stirred everything around. Knock everything off my spoon. Put my lid back on. Cook it for another 10 minutes and then we should be able to eat. We'll bring you back for the taste test. Okay, we are back and it's ready. So there is the main course on the pan. And here I am going to be doing a little taste test. I'm going to move my camera up so I get in frame. So this is kind of like a soup. If you put a bunch of extra broth in it, you could do it like a soup. If you don't, you just do less broth. But you need the broth to soften all the vegetables. And it's, you can see, mighty hot. But I got my onions, my carrots, my cabbage, my ground beef. I have not seasoned it yet. I left it just the way it came out of the pot. But of course, you add your own seasonings, how much you want, or less, whatever. But you always want seasonings for some flavor. That broth is fantastic. If you haven't made your own homemade beef broth or chicken broth or vegetable broth, check out my videos. It's really super easy to make. You can do it all in just a regular stock pot. You don't need any fancy tools. Now you do need a pressure canner because you do have to pressure can it. So I will tell you that. You do need to pressure can it. But if you don't have one, find a buddy, see if they have one. If they don't mind, you borrow their pressure canner so you can pressure can yourself a whole bunch of jars of broth. Because this broth is so much better than the store-bought broth. But number one, you know exactly what the ingredients are when you made it. You don't have all the preservatives that the store-bought one, because they had to put the preservatives in there so it could have a longer shelf life. Now here's, I'm going to do a little carrot. I'm trying to find my cabbage. Oh, there we go, I found one. But this is a definite win-win and win-win. And you can actually pressure can all of this, except for the cabbage. Cabbage, you just add it about 10 minutes as you're heating it up. Actually, just put it in there, the fresh shredded cabbage, when you start to put it on your pot to boil, to heat. And then it'll cook the cabbage then, but that's the only thing is you don't put the cabbage in there, but you can actually pressure can all of this if you wanted to. The potatoes and the carrots just melt in my mouth. I say, 30 minutes is more than enough time to get this done. But anyway, so this is another win-win. I'm on a running streak. All my meals that I've been making lately have really turned out awesome. And I cheated because I had to use up some apples before they went yucky. So I made this morning, got up early, and I made an apple oatmeal bake. And that's going to be our dessert after supper. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share. And I would love to know what your kind of recipes, if you have something you'd like me to make, let me know. Put it in the comments. Or also let me know if you have some certain recipes that I can make. Put the name of it and the ingredients and the directions in the comment section. I would love to do that because I love to try new stuff. Because right now I'm actually getting better and better at cooking and I'm enjoying it. So I'm trying to stay out of my comfort zone and make stuff that I haven't made ever before, or I haven't made probably 20, 30 years ago. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.